In the past few years, the American economy hasn't just become more unequal, it's entered a new phase of consolidation, where a handful of billionaires effectively dictate policy, labor conditions, and even public discourse. Now, this isn't a glitch in the system, it is a system. Capitalism, left to its own devices, concentrates power upwards. And when capital concentrates, democracy suffocates. What we're witnessing in the headlines about tech CEOs shaping elections, in the so-called trade wars that are more stock buyback scheme than economic policy.
This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million.
And in the bipartisan gutting of worker protections is the logical result of a society built to serve capital, not people. These billionaires aren't breaking the rules, they're following them to their natural conclusion. And as long as labor remains divided, unorganized, and undervalued, we'll keep mistaking exploitation for efficiency. Curtis Yarvin was once just a blogger with a God complex and a dictionary. Now his ideas are shaping Silicon Valley's future. He thinks democracy is inefficient, and that society should be run like a corporation, where one person decides and everyone else follows. Sound familiar? That's already how Amazon runs its warehouses. It's how Facebook moderates speech. That's how Tesla busts unions. What Yarvin offers isn't a radical new system, it's the existing system on steroids, built around a new aristocracy of would-be Genius Bar employees. So in other words, it's just... But like I said earlier, this really is just the logical next step in the existing system. The intended effect this has, which I should have mentioned in my essay, is a working class that's been devalued. Assuming your parents don't kill children for a living, this shouldn't come as a shock to you. In fact, that's the basis of capitalism. And it's why we have things like Uber and DoorDash. Because whether billionaires control the government or not, you're just an asset to capitalism. Even if the app you work for says you're a contractor. God, that's dystopian as hell. You aren't an independent cab driver or a freelance code writer. You're a serf in the new techno-feudalist future, which is what they call it. Now, it's easy to blame people like Curtis Yarvin and individual tech CEOs for everything, but the point of this video and of this assignment is to focus on the solution, how to decentralize economic power, which we get to by recognizing the main issue. Curtis Yarvin is just a symptom. The real disease is capitalism doing what it was always designed to do. Concentrate power, strip public control, and reduce democracy to a product you can't afford. You don't get Peter Thiel buying politicians without Citizens United. You don't get Elon Musk mocking regulators without a system that rewards monopolies. You don't get this billionaire-led authoritarian grift without a basic rule. If capital can buy power, it will. It's implied in the name. Society as a means for the most powerful to get their way. And when the system gets as far gone as it is now, Yarvin's solution, replacing democracy with a CEO government, isn't some fringe alien idea. It's capitalism's final form, fascism. Remember, who supported Mussolini and Hitler from the beginning? Who set up the business plot? Please, Google the business plot if you don't know what that is. It's crazy. So, how do we defend ourselves against, the most powerful humans in history? The same way workers have gotten every single concession we've ever had. By remembering that without us, there are no corporations. The labor movement didn't just get you weekends and safety laws. It stopped literal fascists in the 20th century. From Spain to Korea, from Flint, Michigan to Liverpool, workers have shown again and again when they act together, they can bring the system to a halt and rebuild it better. You don't even have to go full commie. The solution to a billionaire monarchy isn't a different king, it's no kings. It's power rooted in labor, organized from the ground up. It's democracy, not just at the ballot box, but at the workplace, in the supply chain, and in the streets. This is all built on the universal truth that labor is prior to and independent of capital. Capital is only the fruit of labor and could have never existed if labor had not first existed. Labor is the superior of capital and deserves much the higher consideration. So what does successful labor organization look like right now? This isn't history, it's happening right now. Amazon warehouse workers in Staten Island formed one of their first unions, right in the belly of the beast. UPS workers won record pay increases by threatening to shut down global logistics. And from graduate students to truckers, people are realizing the boss only has power because we give it to him. What if every tech worker walked off the job tomorrow? What if every Tesla line went dark? What if the people who build, clean, and connect the world said no more? That's not chaos, that's democracy. Because real democracy doesn't mean picking which billionaire rules you. It means no one rules you. It's not about destroying and hoarding, it's about building. Organizing and redistributing wealth, not necessarily through violent conflict, is the intellectual foil to fascism. It can look like worker cooperatives, where labor controls capital and not the other way around. Unions that aren't just about wages but about governing the workplace. Democratic control over public goods, housing, transit, and even things like AI, so that decisions serve people, not shareholders. This is how you fight Curtis Yarvin, not by arguing with his blog posts, but by starving the system that lets people like him matter in the first place. By putting him in his place. Capitalism tells you that your only power is as a consumer, but that's a lie. Your real power is as a worker and as a collective, and that power will always be greater than this guy's. The future isn't written yet, but if we leave it to billionaires, it'll be one where democracy is a historical footnote, and where power flows upwards forever. But if we organize, really organize, there's still time to write a different ending. Because no matter how rich they are, they still need us. And if we stop showing up, the empire collapses. Thank you. Like and subscribe, or not, I don't care.